Nuts.
Okay, we are on, and welcome to episode 5 of our podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 5, guys. Who knew we would make it this far? But we're here, and you're in the right place, and you're in safe hands. For the next 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to be talking shite about movies. We're going to be delivering our bullshit opinions, and we're going to be losing friends tonight. I'm pretty confident.
And losing friends in this room, probably.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm in the mood for that.
Yep. So, yeah, that's because of our topic. So stay tuned to find out why that is. My name's Ian Gordon, a.k.a. Money. This is Sandy Henderson, a.k.a. Red Ball. And this is Steed, a.k.a. Mammalian versus Predator. And how are you guys doing? How's everything going? What have you been working on? Let's talk.
I'm just back from Melmac.
What's Melmac?
Melmac, it's the home planet where Alf is from. I've been trying to rescue cats because Alf and these cohorts, they like to eat cats. And,
Okay.
So I've been trying to rescue them. I've been filming a...
It really is Predator versus legal aliens.
Yeah, that's right. So I've been filming a documentary about that, and I was about to make an analogy of Alf, but it'll probably be seen as not acceptable for this day and age.
So Sandy,
No idea.
do you regret anything about your decisions up until this point?
What, in my life? Or?
No, just about suggesting that we talk about what we're working on, for example.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, a little bit. Well, I mean, unless you know what the fuck he was on about there.
Well, I've got a vague idea, but yeah.
You know, I talk about what you've actually been doing.
Oh, what I've actually been working on. What have I been working on? Aside from some commercial stuff that's been great. Thanks, guys.
Love those corporate gigs.
Yeah. Working on a secret trailer. And working on some dynamite stuff behind the scenes to try and get it out, ready for the public.
That's coming soon.
And brainstorming ideas for Dynamite too. Should I not die of a fucking heart attack or something from stress? Try to even think of it. Well, I should maybe address some things because people always ask me, when's the film coming out? We're trying to get out. We're trying to get it past quality control that is safe for broadcast, etc., etc. And then, when's the next one? Working on a wee offshoot thing, maybe kind of top secret. And obviously, Dynamite 2, there's the ideas there and stuff. So, but not until I'm ready because it would kill me, I think. So there's everything. So hopefully Dynamite 1 will be out and about sometime because people always ask me. So now you can leave me alone. Shut it up.
We're learning a lot about, obviously this is me and your first feature film that we've worked on. Ian's done his own feature film.
Yes.
But we're learning about making the film being only a quarter of the battle and then coming out the other end.
Yeah.
How much is involved in that?
You think the finish line is finishing the film, and it really isn't.
No, it's not. I mean, even
Even
now, as you guys know, we'd got the mix down for Dynamite and stuff, and there's like now the 5.1 version, but the 5.1 version isn't quite correct, so we're having to redo that.
But the exciting thing is that there's a mix that's just music and effects, and that means that it can be dubbed into any language. So that could be really fun for the future.
Yeah. There's also the textless version, which will go along with that.
Yeah.
So like the freeze frames of people's names and stuff. I was a bit hesitant to do that. I was like, it's very stylistically done, and
someone's just going to put Arial font on on top of it.
I'm actually looking forward to it now. If I could see it in Cyrillic, Russian, or Hindi or something, then I'll be like, yes, made it. Only then I'll think it's worth it.
I'm excited for the Spanish dub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to that.
Ricardo Dinamita or something?
Oh yeah. Was it Lucia?
Lucia.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So Sandy,
Hi.
Without giving us your life stories, what have you been working on, Red Ball?
Well, you've had me up a mountain in Skye.
That was extremely sketchy.
Yeah, it probably wasn't as sketchy as I was making it out to be, but I definitely felt the weight of the camera gear on my back while we were scrambling up the side of a mountain.
Yeah, so to give you some perspective on this was like the gradient was like that, and we were climbing up the side of this landslide effectively, and the people who had been there before us had kind of cut this zigzaggy path in, so it ended up being like this ledge that was about 1/2 meter wide, but because it had been so well trodden, people had kind of had eroded down to just the fine rocks and pebbles and scree. So it was like walking on this ledge with this drop next to you, walking on ball bearings and marbles. It was like terrifying.
But it was worth it for the location.
Yeah.
Sorry, do I sound far away to use, or do I sound...
Yeah, actually, you don't seem as clear as me in...
Hello.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Alright, apologies for the pops and stuff. I'm going to have to get it.
The cinematographer, he's not a sound man, okay?
No. Is that better?
That's much better. Yeah.
Watch that lead.
Yeah. About there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was worth almost dying for where we ended up filming.
100%.
And I think that the footage speaks for itself. Although we do want to go back, don't we? Because it's just that good.
Maybe, yeah.
So we'll be doing it again.
Yeah.
And are you?
We go to these locations where like we're never coming back here because it was just such a huge effort. But then you come back and you look at the footage and you're like, man, we should totally go back there. But yeah, we'll
amazing. See. It was worth it. So yeah.
Anyway, we should probably... The only thing I want to mention is I've been talking to Stuart Hamilton about New Stone. That's in pre-production just now. It's his film that we'll hopefully be shooting next year. I've had a read of some of the script, and...
Have we got a close-up of Sandy's face trying to fix this mic?
I'm sorry, I just don't want to ruin the audio.
That's all right. So New Stone's looking exciting.
Watch the tension on that wire.
Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We'll get Stuart on to talk properly about it. Lots of good sci-fi horror weirdness in New Stone, but Stuart, he can talk much better than I can about it. So, yeah, you probably noticed that there's 3 of us here tonight. We did have a guest lined up, but unfortunately James Corden had to pull out because he watched episode 2 and is now considering his legal options. So instead, you're stuck with the 3 of us. And we thought... Possibly for a future episode, we're going to talk guilty pleasures. We're going to talk about the movies that you like, but you're not supposed to like. You know, it could be the rom-com that you think is actually quite charming, or it might be the action movie that's as dumb as a bag of hammers, but, you know, it's your go-to comfort food, like eating a whole tub of chocolate ice cream or something like that. But this time we decided to do something a little bit different and mix it up. But in actual fact, we're not going to do anything different. We're going to do what we do every single week. We're going to be talking about our top 3 guilty displeasures this time. So basically it's the opposite. It's the films that you're supposed to like. It's the films that everybody says you should like. It's the films that have won awards. It's the films that you're maybe in a social situation, in a conversation, someone asks you, what did you think of that film? You say, I did not care for that film. And it's like you've let a fart slip out and everybody kind of looks at you strange, but you feel better that it's out there. So that's why we're all going to fall out with each other tonight. So I'm going to stop talking to the camera. I'm going to start talking to these guys. But don't feel like you're excluded from this conversation. You're part of this. You're here with us. And let us know in the comments below, what are your guilty displeasure movies? What do you think about our guilty displeasure movies? And in particular, are we all going to fall out with Steed?
I think I'm going to fall out with yours. I think my...
Have you watched Citizen Kane then?
I think my number 1 spot, you're going to be like, no, it's great.
Right, okay, we'll see then.
What I was going to ask you is, I initially thought this would be quite easy, because I immediately, like, there was one title that jumped to my head, and then I kind of thought about lots of other, normally, like, Best Picture nominations or winners, because I look at the Oscars and I'm like, I should probably watch that. And then I watch it, and I think, that was really boring. And I'm talking, like, Power of the Dog and stuff like that. You kind of watch them and you think that was a waste of my life. But, you know, when I actually analyse it, it wasn't that easy. But I'm thinking you probably have got lots of movies like this.
No, again, I've kind of cheated as per every episode.
Oh, yeah.
I've not got a top 3. I've got two movies and 2 filmmakers, kind of in general.
Okay, that's fine.
But when you saying that stuff there, The Killer popped into my head there. The one with Michael F. Fassbender.
Love that film.
Still not seen that yet.
It's boring as shit.
Great film.
Boring.
I was watching a cinematography breakdown on it the other night.
yeah, it looks good and stuff, and there's like one really cool fight scene. But how do you make a
Oh, the
film
fight
about?
scene's brilliant.
How do you make one fight scene out of a whole movie about an assassin that is so boring?
But that's kind of the point. I mean, the point, like, you know, the first act, I think he's pretty much just lining up he's sniping a shot, and he's trying to kind of get across how it's all about discipline. And what I love about The Killer was he kind of spells out this really detailed, pragmatic life he lives and all these rules that he lives under. But then throughout the movie, he breaks them all because it turns out it's all bullshit. It's either that or it's because his life gets so derailed that he's forced to break all those rules. But
do you know what?
Anyway,
I think I'd rather watch a film about him being like a chronic masturbator. Oh wait, I already did. Shame. Yeah.
Or you should maybe watch a film about him living in a cell covered in shit.
Is that a real one as well?
Yeah, that's Hunger. Yeah.
Maybe they should do a combo of the two.
Yeah.
Have him covered in shit as a serial masturbator.
As your host, I feel partially responsible for the direction that this conversation has taken. So
wait,
let's
what would that be called then?
Back
what would that be called?
Shame Hunger the Killer. the Shame Hunger Killer. We
should maybe start.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Right.
Exactly.
So let's move on to number 3. We're gonna let's start with you, and we'll work our way around.
Okay. I think I'm going to have completely different things from you.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to go for my number 3 as Super Troopers.
I haven't seen Super Troopers. I know people that love it though.
Yeah, people fucking love it, and I'm like, I wanted to walk out the cinema, but I couldn't because the guys I was with were driving and were fucking miles away. I wanted to walk out. Unfunny. So unfunny.
There's funny bits. I remember a scene where they get pulled over by the cops and they're on acid, mushrooms, and does the guy not like eat a bunch of mushrooms? And it's been a while since I've seen it.
Do you know, why don't you break down the plot for people like me that have never seen it?
There's these really unfunny Americans.
They're state
some of them were
right?
cops. I've tried to erase it from the memory
Eat
box.
mushrooms.
It's from the stoner comedy era where that was like they were churning them out, you know. I mean, it was like you're half baked, which is terrible as well.
What? Half baked? I loved Half Baked.
Right, Half Baked is not. Dave Chappelle is one of the funniest men on the planet, if not my favorite stand-up comedian, and that film just is not Dave Chappelle at all, and he hates it as well.
And does he?
Is this like Harold and Kumar type style movies as well?
Harold and Kumar is one of the best ones.
Right.
The pouch. Jerry Garcia, man.
Yeah, I know. It's so like over the top, like, you know what I mean? It's cheesy.
Is it like sort of naughty Cheech and Chong movies?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but I think Harold and Kumar is one of the best ones. It's just it's good.
I like Harold and Kumar.
You could actually maybe have Cheech and Chong as my guilty displeasures because I never really like. If you were stoned, yeah, but other than that, they would not.
See, thing is, I remember like the first time I'd heard of Cheech and Chong, someone telling me, "Oh, and he does this and he does that," and I was like, "This sounds awful." But then I don't know. Like the first time I watched Up in Smoke was when
Up in Smoke's good.
Yeah, when I was first getting into that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and I was like, "This is the funniest thing ever. This is amazing."
Cheech Marin, I think, is genuinely funny. I think Tommy Chong acquired taste.
I liked him on that '70s show.
Oh yeah, who's in that '70s show? Was he
It's like the
neighbour or something?
No, he was like the boss of the record shop owner. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah. But anyway, we never talked much about Super Troopers there.
Yeah, but it's because apparently nobody knows anything about Super Troopers.
Apart from it's shit, but people love it.
Yeah. I do know. The only people I know of that talk about Super Troopers talk about it fondly. So yeah, I think.
Could you give a demographic of the sort of people that like Super Troopers? Is it Super Troopers, State Troopers?
Well, the thing like Sandy says, the people I know that basically like, crude humor. I mean, I do. I'd be interested to know if I like it.
It's kind of dry as well, isn't it? It's not like, it's not wacky and outlandish. From what I remember, anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of a different film. It's been a long time.
I think I conflate it with there was a TV show about it wasn't State Troopers, but it was like, State Police or something. I'm trying to remember now, and I've seen bits of this, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. I remember watching the sequel.
Overt comedy, like.
There's a sequel.
There's a sequel.
Super Troopers 2.
There's no laughs. There's no laughs for me anyway.
And you liked the first one?
No. It's kind of got a cult following, eh?
Well, I'm going to move on to mine.
Yes.
So my number 3 is every single musical ever made.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you know what?
Here's what I'm going to get involved in this one.
I'm with you. I walked out of Evita.
Yep. That would definitely.
Musicals, do my nut. Besides, I love Bugsy Malone.
Okay. I don't.
Oh, that's it. Fight
It's a
it, Tom.
musical.
Bugsy Malone. And does the Blues Brothers count as...
That's nah.
Blues Brothers, one of the best
Man,
films
you
of all time.
fucking got me there.
It's still a
Because it is a musical. It is. I have to concede the Blues Brothers is good because the music is phenomenal. And actually, it's one of the worst examples of like, you know, the modern day, or I say it's a modern phenomena of like retconning music to fit into a story like Mamma Mia or We Will Rock You and stuff like that, where they just take the music and they're like, well, this is popular. Let's just write a story around it. But I think when I was young and privileged, I got taken to see Cats at the Playhouse.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I got like 45 minutes in, I'm like, when are they going to stop
And,
singing?
and there's a film now with James Corden,
Our favourite, yeah.
and it looks laughable. I've not seen it,
Yeah,
but
man.
I need to defend musicals here a little.
Okay.
Oh,
bit. Right.
Well, so there's two types of musical, right? There's musical where people stop and they talk and there's plot, like Blues Brothers. And then there's musicals like Evita and Les Mis and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where it's just music.
Just
all the way
music,
through.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I hate them both equally.
Okay.
So
God, you're getting quite fired up as well, eh?
I fucking hate them.
good. to quote Palpatine, good, good, good.
So what's your musical guilty pleasure?
Grease.
check.
Hate it.
I fucking love Grease especially when I was a kid.
Do you know what? Grease would be better without the music, though. Like,
Nah.
It would. 100%. I mean, the music is catchy and stuff, but like,
They're great songs, man.
there's nothing in that film that, If you
It's-
took all the music out, you'd have a better film, I reckon.
It's trippy and it's great. It's amazing. It's an amazing film. I love Grease. It's one of my favourite films.
Everyone loves
Deal with
the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes, that was my next one.
Nah.
Wacky as well.
freaks me
Totally
out.
perfect.
I'm scared of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Which parts? It makes you question
The
your
horror
sexuality.
I don't know. I just remember being scared of it,
Right.
and I was like, "Nah, fuck this." and
This
turned
is
it off.
too weird. This has gone too far.
Wizard of Oz.
Is that a musical?
Yes.
Did they sing? I suppose they do, don't they?
Somewhere
Yeah.
over the rainbow, the whole thing's
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
right.
Hate it.
La La Land.
I haven't seen La La Land.
La La Land's
but I
a
hate
great
it.
film.
Do you know what? See, when I was looking up other guilty displeasure type films, La La Land was one that always popped up. Of
Yeah.
people being like, "Don't get it. Don't get the hype." It is.
I maybe do have
Crap.
to try and watch La La Land.
Is that the one that's in black and white?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
Oh, what's the one I'm thinking of that's black and white? Similar sort of era,
A musical.
La La
like
Land's
set in the 30s or something.
La La Land's modern day.
Oh, I was going to say The Artist.
Maybe. And is that the one that won shit tons of awards?
It did win a lot of awards. Yeah. Jean Jardin.
Baby Driver.
That's not a musical.
I would call that. a
They
musical.
don't sing.
That's not.
There's no singing. For me,
Oh,
like,
yeah, okay. You're
people like
thinking
Andrew
High
Lloyd
School
Webber,
Musical.
that's what I'm thinking of. Like for
Alright,
me,
okay.
he's not a fucking playwright. He's a prog musician who writes concept albums and then gets people to dress up and act them out on stage. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that is a different entity altogether. Though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
admittedly. But why are they making them into films? Why are they making Les Mis and stuff? Like, just
What if we made Dick Dynamite the musical? That could
That
be
would
pretty
work,
good.
that
Yeah,
if it's as good as the Blues Brothers,
yeah.
then
With some
you might have a chance.
Aphex Twin and some death metal.
Or Certain Death, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, maybe.
give me
I don't
ideas
know,
now.
I don't
Well,
know if
there
I've
you
done
go.
enough to defend musicals, but I was going to talk about them in my
Do you know the
guilty
one I like?
pleasures.
I tell you what, right? I do have. There's a few. I draw lines, right? And Disney films are okay. Animation's okay. Bollywood is okay because that's its thing. So I'm all right with that. I'm not going to chuck all the Bollywood movies in Room 101.
Fuck's sake, everyone's always on about, oh, Stage, you're going to get your whole podcast cancelled. Now it's your turn.
No, but the only one that I can think of that's live action and it's only just live action is Team America: World Police.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Well, actually, behind that app, I've got this huge box of Team America somewhere, actually.
Have you?
Yeah. Love it so much.
Nice.
What about Nightmare Before Christmas?
I mean, nah.
What are you looking at me like that for?
Because I had to I've had to not say a certain word so many times throughout this podcast.
What, Tim Burton? That's 2 words.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's an animation, so I don't particularly like it, and I would like it more without the music, but, you know, I'm okay with it. I liked Encanto. I liked, there's a few Disney films that I think are decent.
Mary Poppins.
And I wouldn't... Right, let's move on, because...
Right, okay.
Yeah.
My number 3 might not be that controversial, actually. I was late to the party with it. I'd seen it, you know, modern times rather than back when yous were kids.
I'm not going to like this, am I?
Top Gun.
Do you know what? No, I'm with you on Top Gun.
Yeah.
Didn't get it.
I think it's tonally mental.
I'm going to defend Top Gun.
Go for it, right. Go. You defend Top Gun. You've got my backup with the musicals thing.
I think, I mean, it is very 80s, right? It's totally 80s as fuck, and it's homoerotic as fuck.
Oh my God.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you almost can't get better. And like Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise in their prime, like, come on, but what more do you want? And all the F-18 stuff is phenomenal.
It's
on
just
Michael
so-
Ironside, I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, I forgot about him, to be fair. But it's so America and like
Yeah,
cheesy.
it's a fucking training, and not training. It's a propaganda like
film.
it's a recruitment film,
Aye.
and that's why they let them use the Air Force, 100%.
And that's why they've got their tops off playing volleyball. And that.
Yeah,
The best bit.
I went to see it at a drive-in show at Edinburgh Airport, and the whole time, they had like a drive-in cinema at Ingliston.
at the airport.
So
Right,
the
okay.
planes were going off behind it. And
Yeah.
stuff. And I was like, what a absolute waste of my time.
Music as well. Kenny Loggins Jr. music, man. It's
Yeah, I'll say the soundtrack is
It's a
pretty
whole
good.
thing.
Maybe not Berlin. Take my breath away. I'm not into that so much, but
What's the song he sings to her the whole way through it? It's not that one.
he sings Great Balls of Fire.
is it not Anal Coconut?
Oh yeah, the Righteous Brothers. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gets up and sings it in the bar and that.
Yeah, it's great. That's a good scene.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino does a great thing about it. Have you seen it?
No.
He says how it's just a gay love story between him and Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
And the girl's trying to come in between it. And he chooses the gay way the whole time.
It's
It's
the best.
brilliant.
It's the best way. It's the only way.
I think it's awful. Again, I've never seen
Cancelled.
it. I've never seen it through the lens of being there in the 80s or whatever.
Do you know? Honestly, I didn't really like it when it came out because it was definitely framed as a movie that was like a romantic kind of action thing without any serious action really. Apart from the plane scenes, as a kid, you kind of loved those, but you were like, there's far too much soft stuff and romance getting in the way of this, making this a good movie. But as I got a bit older, you soften a bit, and you're like, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think any of it.
Even the second one, everyone was like, "It's amazing, film of the year," and I was like, "This is boring."
Top Gun Maverick.
I like Maverick as well.
There's one thing about Top Gun is it totally romanticises fighter jets in the most amazing way.
Yeah.
I was more of an Iron Eagle fan, actually. Remember them?
Lou Gossett Jr.
Yeah. And Iron Eagle 2, yeah.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure they kill off the main dude in the first 10 minutes of the second one. Which is probably just reused footage from the first one.
That's a good guilty displeasure, though. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it kind of divides people anyway. I don't think it's that controversial. But
No.
Is it Michael Bay that directed that?
No, it was Tony Scott, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
It
Yeah.
feels Michael Bay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
You like to feel Michael Bay.
Brockheimer
Oh yeah.
and
Brockheimer.
Don Simpson produced it, yeah. Right, let's...
So we're in agreement so far.
Well, I don't think. Nah, I think Top Gun.
All right, okay.
Top. I think he should feel guilty for not liking Top Gun.
I refuse.
Right, let's have your number 2 then.
Okay, so because I've only got 2 films, I've also got 2 filmmakers, and I almost interrupted because,
We can do that at the end. We'll do that at the end.
What?
The filmmakers one.
Oh, really? But then that only leaves me with another 1 film.
Right. Okay. Go for it.
So Tim Burton, dun dun dun. Or I like Beetlejuice, the original one. I like.
Same. I watched
Yeah, I'm
that.
gonna have to hit you with some Tim Burton films.
I like Ed Wood, Mars Attacks, Headless Horseman one.
Batman.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
Batman. I like
Batman.
yeah, I like Batman, but like.
Turns out you like all the Tim Burton films.
Yeah.
No, but then it became a thing.
Yeah.
I like anything Tim Burton this, Tim Burton that, and like all the stuff that just looks crap. Like everything. I was going to say not everything with Johnny Depp because he was in
Edward
Sleepy Hollow.
Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
I was going to mention Edward Scissorhands.
Willy Wonka and all that.
Yeah, all that.
That's crap.
It's horrendous. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was having this
the
discussion
Alice in
the other day.
Wonderland. That was terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Even Eva Green can't save these films.
Yeah.
I went to Beetlejuice 2 a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nah. It's just, yeah.
You're the second person that has been like, nah, it was pap. And loads of people are like, oh, it's great.
All over the place. Michael Keaton felt like he was phoning it in, didn't really want to be there. Storyline was terrible. Just a cash grab. And it was apparently 100 million they spent on it as well. And I was like, mental.
It's a lot of cash.
It's a lot of coin. And then I went back and watched the original Beetlejuice, and it's fucking amazing. It's so good. Mm-hmm. But again, if you take it out of its time, maybe folk don't get it. I don't know. Maybe everyone needs to look new and fresh for people to...
I don't imagine Michael Keaton's looking new and fresh.
No. He doesn't look that different, though.
Right.
But yeah, it's a shame what they've done to all these franchises. You just leave it alone, eh?
I think you're winning me over with this. As soon as you mentioned Tim Burton, I'm like, nah, get back the fuck off, Tim Burton. But I'm thinking, get all the way back off that thing. I'm thinking maybe you're onto something. Because when was the last good Tim Burton film?
I've heard from a reliable source as well that he's a bit of a nightmare to work with.
Before, especially after Christmas.
Yeah. Fudge, who's my... Oh, yeah, I just remembered who my other filmmaker was.
Were you going to list them both? Are these your number two?
Unless you want to move round, and then I'll do my other filmmaker, then my top spot.
2 filmmakers, but you also have 2 other films.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, I think you're thinking about your comic book adaptation.
He's already thinking an episode ahead.
We don't
Can you sign language them to me or something?
We don't mind.
He's going to do what's it called?
Have you seen Frankenweenie?
Bits of it.
I quite liked Frankenweenie.
I agree with you on the Tim Burton thing, but he's made that many.
Linkin Park Powerless.
But it just seems sort of things like, oh, what sort of movies you into? Tim Burton. It's like, oh, you ever seen Star Wars? No, I like Tim Burton.
Well, he's made that many films, though. Do you know what I mean? That he's got that many good films as well. Like we've just rattled off about 10 good films.
True, but it seems like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, I like Tim Burton and Tim Burton only.
Yeah.
Oh,
my house is decorated like Tim Burton.
I'm interested to see what your next director is, because I feel that way about a certain director as well.
And I think I know who you're going to mention.
Right.
So
okay.
yeah, Sweeney Todd, Corpse Bride, Big Fish. I thought was good. Planet of the Apes. He did the Wahlberg Planet of the Apes, of course.
It's weird.
And then you're into classic Tim Burton. Then you're into like Batman,
The best Batman.
Ed Wood. Yeah.
I think he's the best Batman films.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, that's a controversial one. I mean, it's got what's his name in it? No, not the Depp. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Christopher Walken.
No,
Is he not in that? Is he not the dad?
Sleepy Hollow.
the old dude, the puppet maker, or the guy that's in the mansion.
Oh right, I thought that was. I thought that was Christopher.
Vincent Price.
Vincent Price, is it? It is Vincent
Was
Price.
it not?
Oh, I'd mentally replaced him with Christopher Walken there.
So is it me?
Well,
no.
Gary kindly reminded I did put another
you
film
did,
actually, so it's up to you.
Just go for it.
Like the other film or the other filmmaker.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, we've lost control.
All right, I'll go for the film rather than the filmmaker.
Okay.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
I thought you might
I've
list
not
that.
watched that yet.
Oh man, like okay. I like to relax and watch a film. I'm the sort of person that thought Netflix and chill meant Netflix and chill, not a fucking metaphor for having it off. So I like to relax, watch a film, and this was just like non-stop. They edit, and it was just like, fuck me, this is intense, and I couldn't handle it. You seen it, eh?
Yeah. I like it.
And you've not. Like it's just so much stuff.
Again,
like,
when there's so much of a hype train about something, it usually switches me off to it.
Yeah.
And then I end up watching it later. Do you know what I mean?
It's super
Especially
wacky.
if the normies are talking about it.
It's very, very wacky. I think for the normies, this is like as far out as it gets. And I think that's what was remarkable about it. It's the kind of film that you would struggle to imagine why it was greenlit in the first place, let alone someone actually managed to kind of put this coherently into a story. So I think it's impressive from that point of view. I kind of agree. As storytelling goes, it's like... there's so much going on with it.
Amphetamines or coffee to be like, keep up with it, you know, like Beavis.
But it's very deep. It's like even if you're not totally following everything that's going on, it has really profound moments in it where, you know, you're for a second you've absolutely no idea what you're watching and what's going on, but it's getting you to your emotional core. And it's got a great cast and great performances. I don't know, I like that one. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. You're gonna have to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 2. So this is an actual film, and this is an actual guilty displeasure. I do feel a bit bad about not liking this, but it's Joker.
Oh.
I mean, I feel bad because cinematography is great. It's got a really nice palette. It's texturally a beautiful sort of, well, not beautiful film, but it's quite bleak. I mean, but the really rich kind of evocative era that they've got. Obviously, central performance from Joaquin is pretty good.
I like the mental health angle that they went down with it.
Yeah.
See, thing is, like, I almost mentioned it like about a minute prior because it was, again, this was another one normals were going mental for, and and I was like, oh, everyone says it's amazing, I bet it's shit, and I watched it and I was like, fucking hell, this is really good. But
it had its moments. I mean, like, you know, the dancing down the stairs was obviously iconic from the minute you saw it. You were like, that's cool. But
did you ever see The King of Comedy?
Yeah, I haven't. Well, not in a long time. And when I watched it, I think I was maybe worse for wear. So I don't really remember anything about it.
Right, because
I immediately got the De Niro and also the kind of the whole Scorsese feel as well, because it's like Taxi Driver basically again. And again, I'm in for all that, but I don't know, there's something about Taxi Driver that feels much more triumphant for Travis Bickle, whereas this, as a film, just felt like, you know, they were constantly shitting on their main character. Like they can't constantly kind of like, let's beat him up, and then right, let's humiliate him, right? Okay, let's put him in a social situation that he comes out of like horrendously.
Well, I've got news for you. You're going to love Joker 2 because it's a musical.
Yes. Is that right?
It's a musical, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm tapped out.
It's getting horrendous reviews. Like,
is it?
Yeah.
But for me as well, like I like the Joker or whatever, because there's so many iterations of it. That's the problem for me. It's like these characters are starting to feel worn out. Like how many spin-offs of Batman can there? There's TV shows. There's like 10 different people have played each character throughout time. It's like, give it a rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, write a new character. Like, how many times are we going to see a Joker film?
He did.
Or a Suicide Squad.
In fairness, he gave the character, you know, real life. You know, he really breathed life into
maybe
the character.
Maybe my favourite version of it, to be honest.
But I don't know. I think a lot of it for me is because of the trajectory of, you know, the character's journey, and it always had to be in that direction because he's got to end up as the Joker. But I just watching like 90 minutes or 2 hours or whatever of a character going that far into a hole. I'm not up for that. Yeah. So there you go.
Sorry to keep going on about my mic, but I'm just not.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, it's even better.
I don't know where to go, like where to put myself.
Rotate it so the white label's facing you.
Yeah, but I don't want to make crazy pops in that, right? Everyone go quiet for 1 sec.
Crazy pops.
Dirty pop. Let's see, that's so much better.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
Give us your number 2 then.
Well, I was just going to say.
Here?
I was just going to say.
Time and a place. It's called a toilet.
My last point on that is Todd Phillips, the director.
Yeah.
He started off doing
Hangover.
But before that, it was
Hangover.
the Will Ferrell one where they go back to uni.
Old School. One of the greatest movies ever made.
So it really gives me hope when they make a film like that and start off with an Old School. You know what I mean? Like,
but he
not that Old
peaked with
School's
Old School.
a bad school. Not that Old School's a bad film. It's a great film. But like he started.
They come around the
making
guy
those
who's
kind of
Megadeth
films.
is playing. You've got to love Old School, and he just they drive the truck into the shopping trolley. The shopping trolley launches across the car park, and they grab the guy, put him in the van, and he runs over to the wife and says, "If you tell anyone about this, I'll fucking kill you." Because I'm kidding. We'll have him home for dinner.
Hangover's another one because he made Hangover.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
that's a guilty displeasure.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't that good.
First one's good, second one not so much, and the third one was awful.
terrible,
I can't believe I paid for that film. It's so bad. But like the same director, same cinematographer that made Old School, that made the Joker. So the journey. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. My number 2 is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow, okay.
Do you know what? I recently...
Johnny Depp again.
Well, I need to say, disclaimer, when I was younger, I mean, there was certain films that were like, I usually watched them at my cousin's house, my older cousin, and he had all the VHSs, and it was like The Crow, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser,
All the VHSs.
you know what I mean, all those films from that time. And I just never, I never got it. I was only a baby in the 80s. So maybe I just missed out on the sort of cultural moment of it.
Sorry, what were you going to say? Because I interrupted you.
But
maybe
Freddy Krueger, I just do not get it. And there's a cult around it, and people go to conventions, and I just do not get it at all. I'm sorry.
I think I was going to say that we should get Amber Heard on the show because there's so much shitting on Johnny Depp that we're doing this episode. So Amber Heard, if you're out there, yeah.
Somebody was crackling there.
Okay.
Okay. It might have been Amber Heard crackling one off.
On your pillow.
I thought you were going to say, because remember the other day you were asking us, I'm sure it was you, was asking, should I watch Friday the 13th?
Right, yeah. And I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, because I'd only sort of seen bits of it or the initial bit, the girl going up the wall and everything. I remember seeing that at Terry Mitchell's house. All right, Terry. And being fucking petrified and the blood going up the wall and everything. And so I watched it recently and I was like, this isn't that good. But is it one of these ones where the second one in the franchise is always better? No? Is the second one?
Not for Nightmare, no.
Because there is quite a few, like, I think Hellraiser 2, I seem to remember liking that a lot better than the first one.
Friday the 13th is different because the second, third films are vastly different from the first one. Because the first one doesn't really have Freddy in it, pretty much at all.
Right. Phantasm as well, like the first one's great, but then, there's about 5 of them, and they sort of like, I mean, it hits its peak, but I seem to remember Phantasm 2 being awesome as well.
I mean, it's hard for horror films to stand up, I think, sometimes, especially the ones that were made quite a while ago. But even taking that into account, I do not get it.
Well, I think Nightmare on Elm Street is all about Freddy.
Yeah.
So you have to like him as a character, or you're not going to like it.
Don't like him. And the same goes for like Scream. Don't get it. What's the other one? Friday the 13th. No, it's Halloween is the one with Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Do not get it. Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
Do not get it. So
Fucking hell.
loads of the people that we hang out with, especially our like makeup people and special effects people, Paulie and Steve.
I was just going to say, Paulie and Steve.
Hate this,
you're never going to speak to
They're going to hate my honourable mentions as well.
I'm sorry, do not like any of that stuff. Terrifier, sorry.
Well, the thing is, like with all these ones, like I've got a rug in my room that's all these horror icons, but it's like it just seems so many films are trying to create their own new horror icon.
Yeah,
the Thanksgiving with the Christopher Columbus mask, and there's all these ones that it's trying to make. It's like, you've got all the iconic Freddy, Jason, and all that stuff. It seems like everybody's trying to do it with a new slasher film, but you said Terrifier. Somehow Terrifier.
Yeah, Art of the Clan.
Huge. Yeah. It's just for some reason everybody loves it. And
I like Terrifier because for me, like, it's fun. Watching someone get acid poured on them and things like that. But the practical effects are good. It's just like you just know this guy's going to go out and stomp on some kids, and that's a good thing for me. Like not Joker. It's too real. Joker is too real. Like you say, that's mental health issues. That's a guy who's unravels on camera.
I get what you're saying. There's different kinds of films, and some of them are not to be taken seriously.
Exactly.
But what I do not get the cult that arises from these films. People get in Scream sleeves and all that. Each to their own. Like whatever you're into. I'm just not.
Scream's very different.
I'm just
from
not
the
into it
because
I'm not into it.
Scream was like not a reaction, but it was like a 10, 15 years after though that tranche of movies that you mentioned. Wes Craven's like, let's go and we'll readapt for a modern audience. We'll play the rules a wee bit. We'll basically like it kind of knows what it is a lot more, and it's much more meta and stuff like that. And obviously, like, it's just pure slasher. It's just pure
I'm just not a big fan of the slasher genre, I guess. But I am thankful that
I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
It's like I'm trying to.
peaking big time on that.
It's like I'm trying to talk you into this, but you know.
Peking duck from the Ming Sang.
I am. What was the last point I was going to make? I'm thankful that Scary Movie exists.
Yeah.
As a byproduct of that genre. Until we get Scary Movie 4.
Should we get into our honourable mentions?
Before we go to number ones. Before we go to number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, this feeds right into what you're talking about. I'm sorry, Polly and Steve. But
Polly and Steve, this episode is dedicated just for you.
But my honourable mentions are this. I've watched 3 films recently on Shudder, mostly horror films: Long Legs, Speak No Evil, and In a Violent Nature. Now they're all kind of good in their own way. I'm not gonna say don't bother watching them. There's definitely each one of them has something unique about it, and each one of them has something that probably is worth watching. But like Speak No Evil is probably the best of the lot of them. Not that I haven't seen the James McAvoy one, but again, it's like, I mean, it was disturbing in a good way. I was pleased with how disturbed I was by the end, but I just felt like I've got mixed feelings about it. I think I need to revisit that one. Like first, I came away from it feeling very cold. Long Legs, I just felt was a bit overly stylized.
That's what I liked about it, obviously. Yeah. So there's like loads I'm going to be stealing from that in the future.
Okay.
I just like I like the framing and the super wide.
It wasn't 4:3, was it?
You didn't.
No.
I think in certain contexts that can really be quite powerful to like make you feel completely uneasy.
Just don't do it in my fucking films.
No,
right?
no. It has its place. We're not making weird A24.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
It worked for like making you feel uneasy, or like people that don't really make films might be subconsciously made uneasy because of like the weird angles or reverse rule of thirds, so you're like, oh, is someone going to creep up behind them, sort of thing.
Yeah. But shooting everything like fisheye almost as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like having dialogue happening when the characters are moving from there all the way right up to the camera and stuff. I like that.
I'd be interested in your take on In a Violent Nature, because it's done in a kind of retro style. It's 4:3. And there's long takes, which is the good thing about the film, because you spend a lot of time following one character as they kind of navigate a scene. So there's stuff happening in the scene, but you're kind of seeing it through that character's point of view, but you're also kind of hearing what's going on as well. So you're sort of piecing together what's happening. But I mean, that's what makes it interesting. Other than that, it's an incredibly dull film. But the way that they've chosen to do these long takes, I get annoyed with some films that are 4:3 that I just feel like they shouldn't be. But that's just me. I grew up with TV, like, so I'm sure quite glad that we're kind of getting away from.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just Long Legs. I think Long Legs did this, and I'm sure something else did recently that I watched. But they were using 4:3 aspect ratio as a way of saying this is a flashback.
Yeah, Long Legs.
Was it Long? I'm sure I watched something else recently that did it as well. But was it Long Legs that the devil slowly expands so that you don't notice it, or is that something else?
Late Night with the Devil did a lot of because they did the BTS stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously when he was on camera, it was like the TV ratios.
Yeah.
So those were my honourable mentions. I don't hate those 3 films, but they've had a lot of attention, and I kind of feel like I'm not sure they'll stand the test.
I think when anything original comes out now, because there's so much lacking originality, then it becomes a big deal.
Did you get it, Miyagi? Miyagi money?
I don't know.
Money Miyagi?
Everything's so like recycled and like rehashed that when something even slightly original comes out now, it's massively celebrated, and that's not a bad thing.
If you can't see this if you're watching this, there's a fruit fly flying around and Money Miyagi's trying to...
There's one less fruit fly in the world.
My honourable mentions are just simply all Avengers films.
There's only like 4 Avengers films.
Well, all of them.
All right, all the Marvel films.
Well, not all the Marvel films, because I really like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I really like... well, no, I don't like the new Spider-Mans. Spider-Men's. Spider-Men's.
Spider-Boys.
Ant-Man, freaking Mrs. Captain America, or whatever it's called. Captain America.
Captain Marvel.
Get them all to fuck. Honestly. This green screen Disneyland shit. Get it to fuck. Basically, I passionately don't like any of these films, apart from Guardians of the Galaxy. Decent.
I really liked the Russo's original run of like Winter Soldier, Civil War, and I liked Infinity War and I liked Endgame. But then I think I got sick of it as well after that.
Did you watch them by choice or because you have kids?
I by choice. I would have been in. Like I thought Iron Man was great as well. The first Iron Man I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Looking back, it's not that great, but I don't know if it's because it was so different from everything when at the time when it came out.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
I like
the
Deadpool. I like Deadpool 1 and 2. See the new one? I thought it was terrible.
Oh, really?
There's another controversial opinion.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
I thought it was terrible. I thought it was.
Stories are the best ones, though. Like
Yeah.
Well, they started going into the
agree with that.
multiverse and that, and I've not seen most of the Avengers films because I just didn't want to watch them after the first one. And when the multiverse stuff started coming in, I was just like, I don't know what any of this means. Do you know what I mean? Because I've not been watching it.
Well, yeah, I think Deadpool and Wolverine is definitely a nod to the people that know the comic lore of both those characters. So there's lots of people being brought, and not only that, but know some of the cinematic lore as well of who was originally cast or whatever, you know, because they bring in people.
Is Dougray Scott in it? Like,
I'm not going to, no spoilers. I think we've already spoiled Deadpool versus Wolverine, or Deadpool and Wolverine on this on an earlier show. So right, so honorable mentions.
I've probably mentioned them all.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Also, all Star Wars prequels.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, deal with it.
Yeah.
Deal with
Just
it.
talking about the first three, like the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and
Yeah,
Revenge of the
and
Sith.
all the new ones. And I'm not
Okay.
talking about the spin-offs because Rogue One's great.
I was going to say Rogue
Shout
One.
out to Greg Fraser.
Yeah, Rogue One
He's
is
the man.
Was he the DP?
Yeah. Cinematographer.
yeah, Rogue One is just
He's
brilliant.
so good. Rogue One's class, and the rest of them are just, oh
Yeah.
my god. But
Yeah,
we knew it was
totally.
going to happen.
Oh,
didn't we?
I
Yeah.
remember when I was in the cinema watching the one where Princess Leia flies in space.
The Mary
That was the
Poppins.
second
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
yeah.
I literally, like, you know, it was dead quiet, you know, the sound of space. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I said out loud, was like, you're fucking kidding. And the whole cinema turned around and looked at me as if this, and I looked at them back, being like, are you taking this? This is shit.
Amazing, eh?
said you're fucking.
Come on then. Take on the whole cinema.
And you're thinking that through the whole process of post-production on these films is no one saying anything. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is it that much a dictatorship that everyone's afraid to speak up?
See,
And be like, this is fucking bullshit. Are we really putting this in the film?
Oh, I
Or
think-
is
I
it just
think
us
that's
being
definitely what it
Scottish? But I did think maybe most films or most major films need to employ someone like what's that fucking TV show where you've got the banker or something behind you never know who
Deal
he
or
is.
No Deal.
Like have someone you don't know who he is, and so they can't be like, oh right,
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy's going to get me sacked or whatever. You got to have someone who's just like, no, that's shite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
The focus group, yeah. Yeah. Just the
they
focus
need-
steed.
They need someone like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I agree with that.
Maybe be you, Sandy. It's a good job for you.
I'm passionate about the old Star Wars films. And then when the episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was on down at the ABC, I remember like we sat outside the cinema for ages and like we were so excited. I had all the merch already and everything like that, lightsabers. We even took lightsabers to the cinema and that.
This breaks my heart.
And then the minute Jar Jar Binks was introduced,
It's an origin
You
story.
were smitten.
all my
This is a
dreams,
Sandy origin story.
all my dreams were shattered.
Sand people.
And
I hate the sand.
you know what? It is a bit of an origin story because it made me think like films are like so much shite. There's so much shite.
I thought you were going
I'm
to
not
say films
saying
are so powerful.
What we I'm not saying that what we do is like going to change the game, but it does make me want to change the game a little
Yeah.
bit. Like, well, at least put stuff out that
This is
you
the
know, I
privilege
can
of being a
be proud of.
filmmaker is you get to do all the things that
Aye.
you hated the decisions that other people made, and you're like, no, we're going to do this properly.
If I can make
Yeah.
something that I like at some point and I'm happy with, then that's enough. Everyone else doesn't have to like it, but at least I'll, feel like I've put something in the ocean of crap. That's not everything's shite, but there's what they've done to Star Wars, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We've gone to a dark place tonight. All right, so let's have your number one.
Number one
Yeah.
spot is. I think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
I'm giving you evils already.
Nah, I'm excited. Let's go. I've been enjoying getting fired up.
Hot Rod.
No. Now, see, there's moments from Hot Rod that are brilliant.
Yeah, cinematic genius.
Yes, but like, I get why you don't like it.
Can I mic up my head slaps?
Hot Rod is number 1.
Oh, man, I hate. Okay.
You just hate everything about Hot Rod. Do you like Adam Sandberg? Sorry, Andy Samberg.
In some stuff, I've not seen.
Have you seen Popstar? Never Stop, Never Stopping.
God,
No.
it's so good.
That's so good.
Man, I just found it so unfunny, but so many people are like, Hot Rod, it's amazing, it's so funny. I just thought it was a shit rip-off of Napoleon Dynamite.
I was just going to say that.
Like, and I was going to say, like, Napoleon Dynamite, the first time I watched it, I was like, what the fuck is this? But any time I watched it since, it gets funnier and funnier the more you watch it. But it's not typical American where it's just like, yappy, 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 lots of poppy dialogue, you know? It's just like, it's quite subdued and not your normal American, quote-unquote, humour, do you know what I mean?
It is brilliant.
Napoleon Dynamite.
You know, a lot of these characters were just people that they filmed. Like, genuinely. They just put a camera on someone and that's just who they are. Like, they just filmed them speaking. It's brilliant.
The bit with the farmers talking about the eggs, you could tell that's like, that's a real guy.
Yeah. That's basically just BTS.
Yeah.
Why do you love me? Yes, I love technology. It's the best song in the world.
But back to Hot Rods.
But yeah, for me, Hot Rod's much more surreal than, you know, because like, just some of the stunts, the scene where he's fight dancing. I mean, what a scene! Like,
I didn't even get that far.
It's a shot-by-shot remake from Footloose, yeah. And he goes, he's angrily smoking a cigarette, and he's just like somersaulting over logs and everything.
Have you seen the bit with Bill Hader with the acid flashback thing? That is from Hot Rod, eh?
Yeah, so is that Cool Beans.
And he's grinding, and he gets the metal in his eye. That's tremendous. You have to find that funny if you get to that point in the film.
We're not Cool Beans.
Nah.
We're not Cool Beans.
Why are you saying it that way? What way?
Why am I saying what? What way? Whiskey.
You've hit a nerve with this one a wee bit. But I mean, I'm not like a staunch Hot Rod guy, but like, there are moments.
You're just a staunch
Ian
hot
likes
guy.
Shane as well. Man.
There's
Isla
a lot
Fisher.
of shite in between. There's a lot of shite in between these funny moments, though. And they're trying to do the whole dry thing, you know what I mean? And they're not as good at it as Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, they're definitely, they don't strike the same genius as Napoleon Dynamite, but it is a funny film.
There's a lot of what Andy Samberg does that I don't get. Like, I've never been a huge fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like, to me, it's the same as like, I know I'm on TV now. What was the one? Big Bang Theory. Like, that kind of humor where I'm just like watching it the whole time, being like, do people actually think this is funny?
No. Penny.
Friends as well. I'm sorry. It's not laugh out loud funny.
Penny is all you need to know.
Penny's decent, but aye.
Is that Blossom?
No.
Blossom.
Blossom, the TV show. Fucking hell, that's cool.
Is she not in Big Bang Theory? Someone's in Big Bang Theory that was in one of these
Like 2.5
sitcoms.
children or something.
I think I downloaded the wrong Big
I thought it
Bang
was
Theory.
Blossom, but... All right, let's think about that better. Right, I'm trying to remember my number one. Oh yes, yeah, Requiem for a Dream is my number one.
This is controversial. Not to me,
Oh God, I hate that film.
but I think it's my brother's favourite film.
I've seen it about 3 times. I'm sorry, Kev. I've seen it. So the first time I watched it, about halfway through, I thought this is really good. Like, this is a really strong film. And then I got to the end and I kind of thought, So
It's
then,
bleak.
I went away thinking, it's a really good film, but I don't think I want to watch it again. Second time I watched it, I thought, nah, this is just a miserable fucking film. Like, that really shits all over the characters and takes them all to the worst possible place it can. And offers no redemption and no hope. You know, as
Does
a film.
everything have to be like super happy character?
No, absolutely not.
Arc
No, no, it doesn't.
Happy ending.
And is
It
it
doesn't, but-
is it Requiem for a Dream that that music
Yes,
it comes
yeah.
from? The one that became
the
the music.
soundtrack's great. Yeah,
Became the music for
yeah.
so many trailers. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Thing is, like, I'm with you in a way slightly because on tour on a tour bus, you've got a living room in the front, right, and a living room at the back, and then the bunks in between. And Watty from Exploited, the living room at the back was his, and he slept there rather than in an actual bunk. But so he was permanently watching Requiem for a Dream the whole tour, 3 weeks, and he would fall asleep to the DVD menu screen, and the subwoofer for the sound system was right underneath like people's bunks, so it was just like he would sleep when everyone else was awake, and vice versa. So when you're trying to sleep, it's just like that cranked to send him asleep with this subwoofer. You're like shaking in your bunk, and you're like, "Fuck this fucking film!"
Yeah. And also, by extension to that, everything else that Jared Leto's been in, other than Blade Runner 2049, well, he gets his face beaten in a Fight Club. That's watchable. But like Blade Runner 2049, I read recently that was meant to be Bowie that was going to play that part, really? And that would have been tremendous.
They wrote it that long ago. He's been dead for a while.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Maybe that is bullshit.
No, I can't remember correctly, but the second time I watched the new Blade Runner, I liked it way more than. But could you not just edit out Jared Leto? And the film would be no different. Yeah, it would just be the exact same. Yeah.
It's kind of like Fade Routher, isn't he? He's like that kind of vibe about him.
Yeah, but he's trying too hard, like he was as the Joker in Suicide Squad, and
I think he pissed almost a lot of people off with that.
Yeah. So Requiem for a Dream can get to fuck.
Stylistically, it's pretty bold in that for a first film, and
apart from the end.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You dirty man.
It's very bleak, and it doesn't leave you happy. But like some of your favourite films are like that. Like Dead Man Shoes is like that.
Oh yeah, but it's a tremendous film. I mean, it's good music, good performances. Like the what's his name that made Requiem?
Darren Aronofsky.
Darren Aronofsky, yeah. He went on to make a series of also bad films, as far as I'm concerned. Very much loved. I did not like Black Swan. Yeah. Nah. It was
not seen the one
again. It's like it's huge. Aggressively devoid of like just happiness and hope. The Fountain,
just like life.
The Fountain was like it peaked because it was visually incredible, and the music was also fucking amazing in The Fountain, and Hugh Jackman was great as well. But then he made the Noah film.
Oh yeah,
like he just made a series of films that are. And Mother. Have you seen Mother? I don't know why I keep watching this film. Why do I keep watching them?
The Whale? Is this one of his?
I don't know.
The Whale with Brendan Fraser. It won Oscars.
Was really good though because it was very allegorical.
It was 100% allegorical. It's like that's all it like, but I didn't make it good. I don't think.
I think it was a good perspective on the whole situation.
Yeah, it was an interesting concept film, but. It was also pretty horrible.
There is an air of like, I'm into films. I like Darren Aronofsky films.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I'd agree with that. Yeah,
like have you seen Requiem for a Dream? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's again films. like
no,
you with
I like
hype.
Tim Burton films only.
Like you with the hype train. That's partly why I'm so put off it. I think as a film, but anyway.
See, before we go for Yitter's number one spot, I was thinking like the thumbnail for this. Should we make faces at the center camera that we can Photoshop into the thumbnail?
Right. You're gonna have to keep you happy.
Yeah, like for everyone watching at home, those stupid YouTube thumbnails you get of someone like overreacting. Be like, oh my god, this is outrageous. Yeah, exactly. So let's make those. Should we make those crap faces?
Yeah.
Nah.
No. We'll do a still. That's not going to translate to Spotify.
I'm just going to say that it's not going to work.
We'll
Spotify,
use it as a thumbnail on Spotify.
Please tune in for episode 6. We will have resolved many of these issues.
So that's my number one. Okay, so I've alienated like Polly and Steve and all the FX department and blah blah blah. So I'm going to alienate everyone else. Here we go.
I know who it's going to be.
Well, it might be you as well. But it's definitely Adrian.
I hate.
It's Adrian, Stig, and Terry.
I know where this is going.
Oh wait, maybe not.
It's Conan the Barbarian.
By Crom. How dare you?
Overrated. The editing is mental. The concept, fair enough, I didn't read the comic. If it is a comic, I think it might be. It's probably going to be on another show. I get it that it's peak Arnie and all that, right? But
what about the Lamentations of the Women?
I love that. I love that soundbite. It's tremendous. But I watched it with you on a movie night at the studio, and I was just the whole time I'm just sitting there. I mean, these guys like brought like weapons to watch the film and everything. Like they love it. Eh?
But do you know what? See, when we watched that with you, I kind of watched it with a different eye, like thinking, oh, you and your brother hadn't seen it before. But there was one bit that stood out to me. It was just like, as a film, they shouldn't. It was just like he went to the main castle and done stuff, and then fucked off, and he didn't kill the main baddie, and then he had to go back there. Do you know what I mean? As far as storytelling goes,
that's what I mean. I picked up on the editing, and it was.
Do you know what I mean? He should have done all his business, and the castle at the end in a one. It was a bit strange that he went and done this, and then came back, and then.
Yeah, I think he still had some ground to cover in his character before he could. I can't remember. Yeah,
not enough women that were laminated or laminated,
lamented.
But for all the hype of everyone talking about it for years and quoting it for years, and I hadn't seen it, and then watching it, and then the whole time I'm just like, what is this all about? Like, but I wasn't born
James
in the
Earl
70s.
Jones had an amazing haircut.
Oh yeah.
His character was weird as well. Like the whole thing was weird.
I like James Earl Jones, R.I.P. Very recently. And like everyone was on about this film or that film. Was like, nah, like Tulsa Doom and Conan. He's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what character if they were playing characters that were true to like a comic that you had all been reading for years because you saw like
I never read the comic.
Yeah, I never read them either.
No. It was at very early 80s, like 81 or something.
81, I think. Yeah.
Film, yeah. I mean, it was very early Schwarzenegger as well. Like.
Crap.
I thought you were going to mention a certain film director and say all these films are crap.
I'm going to do that at the end.
Oh, are you?
Oh, do you want me to do it now? Like,
well, that's an hour, I think. So.
Okay, well. In similar fashion, in similar fashion to like Tim Burton, he's got a body of work. And some of it's good, like especially the early part. I think overhyped director with some shite films and some really good films. Christopher Nolan.
Oh, not who I thought you were going to say.
Not where I thought you were going to go. I disagree with that completely. But
okay, I'll give you my reasons.
Some of his films are bad.
Yeah,
there's films that people. There are definitely people that if it's a Christopher Nolan film, they think it's just amazing anyway.
That's it. The hype train is strong with this one.
But yeah. I think they're all good for some reason. Like
this is it. This is what I'm getting at.
Fight!
It's like the late. Oh no! Christopher Nolan's done it again. The latest Christopher Nolan.
We're gonna have to go on for another hour here, right? But like, if you take a movie like Tenet, there's a lot wrong with Tenet, and we could spend an hour talking about everything that's wrong with it. But at the same time, it was very original, very thought provoking. It's like it has some really, really like mind-popping action scenes and some really good. It's got some terrible characters. It's got some awful dialogue, like admittedly, but some of the set pieces, some of the way that the story comes together is brilliant. And you're sitting watching it thinking, I've never seen anything like this. So that I think he deserves credit for.
Yeah, there's loads of things that I've not seen. You know what I mean? I've not seen loads of stuff. Doesn't make it a good film. Like
loads of stuff is a great film.
Is that an actual film?
Yeah, it was made by George the Fourth.
Right. Anyway, back to my point. So there's great films, right? Interstellar,
Inception.
The Prestige.
I love Inception.
I don't like Inception.
Fuck off.
See what I mean?
Just fuck off.
Oh, it's like, nah, I just don't like it. It's all over the place. Didn't really get it. I watched it again. Didn't really get it again.
It's all in one place.
Whatever. What, in your mind or in someone else's dreams or blah. For me,
it's all on a plane.
For me, I'm sorry. Like all of his films before they even come out, people are like,
what about Insomnia? What about the early? Right, let's go early. What about Memento?
Like it.
Insomnia.
Not seen it.
You should watch Insomnia.
Right. Okay.
What about the Prestige?
Love it.
Okay.
Genius.
What about the Batman films?
Hyped. Overhyped.
Even The Dark Knight? Yes.
I prefer, but I'm only looking at that in the microcosm of Batman films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's taken a thing where a man dresses as a bat way too seriously. Tim Burton got it fucking spot on, right? Tonally perfect. It's too serious, I'm sorry. The Dark Knight especially, I thought it was a bit boring, to be honest.
Oh, The Dark Knight's good.
Is it The Dark Knight Rises? Is that the first one?
No, The Dark Knight Rises is the third one, and it's
which is the very first one? The Dark Knight.
No, Batman Begins.
Sorry, that's the one I think's a bit boring.
Okay.
The one with Heath Ledger was great.
Okay.
But like as a Batman film,
Yeah.
no. And I don't think it's a masterpiece. Like, so I'm sorry. See, we're always going to come to this, aren't we?
We're going to lose the 3 viewers that we.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go for Wes Anderson.
All
That's
right.
what I thought
But
you were going to.
I need to say stuff in the defensive, right? So,
All right.
I
No,
still
your
think
damage
I
is
still
done.
think he's one of the best filmmakers of our generation, and I love Hoyte van Hoytema, who he works with all the time. Is one of my favourite cinematographers. So
Did he do Insomnia?
dis-
Because
disclaimer.
Insomnia is
I don't know because I'm not
a
saying it.
lush film. Really nice looking film.
Yeah. Sorry. I just think I do love his films, and I do think he's great, and yeah, he's a fucking genius filmmaker. But the hype train is too strong, and that gets my back up.
Well, we better wrap this up. Unless there's anyone else that Red Ball wants to fall out with.
Red Bull.
I've not seen his balls.
You
so-
didn't say your second director, did you?
Do you know what?
Yeah. No, I did.
It's fucking Wes Anderson, isn't it?
It's not.
All right.
It's not. Spike Lee. He can
okay.
fudge off.
What about Inside Man?
That was okay. Yeah.
Have you seen The Five Bloods?
Oh,
Didn't like that.
awful.
I couldn't get through that,
awful.
actually.
Like if it was a regular film, it would be all right. But the fact that it just had to be like stop and pause and be like, "Did you know?" No. It would be like, imagine a Scottish film and be like, just pause
It's
it
very
and be like,
didactic, yeah.
"Did you know that Scottish people invented the telephone? Did you know that Scottish people invented television?" Do you know, like crap like that? It's like, just tell the fucking film rather than give us a history lesson. I went to school.
Not everyone.
What
did,
about
though, I
what about
guess.
stuff like Do the Right Thing and the classic Spike Lee movies?
Not a
Not
fan.
feeling it.
Nah.
I'm trying to think.
Even his Son of Sam one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've not seen that.
get to
Yeah.
the talking dog. I like that was about it. And he's crap representation of punk. And he played a Stratocaster. Fuck off. Nah, Stratocaster, not punk. Union Jack. Fuck off.
Fair enough.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
You got it wrong, Mr. Lee.
I don't think we can do any more damage.
Hopefully, at least we're going to get the most
Yeah, watch
comments.
this. Like one of our films was about to break it big, and then like Spike Lee, Christopher Nolan, all these guys. I want to hire these guys. They're amazing. And then watch this podcast. We're like, fuck those Scottish cunts.
Spike and Chris, if you're watching, I didn't say shit.
I still love Christopher Nolan films. I really do.
I still love
overrated.
James Corden.
All right. Okay, that's us. We better finish now.
Cross the line there.
But yeah, please don't forget to take to the comments of YouTube and try and rectify some of what we've talked about tonight.
Money and me are going to continue arguing about Christopher Nolan for about an hour after this.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But listen, we're going to be back. We're going to be back in the not too distant future. There's been some long gaps in our podcast, but we're making amends, and we're going to get a few lined up for you. So please do remember to submit your stuff to the squaregoluckydip@gmail.com address as well. We do have a couple of Lucky Dip suggestions. Obviously, we didn't have time tonight because we were too busy fighting with each other. So we'll get back on that in maybe a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, I think we better sign off now.
Oh yes.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Whoa!